What if everything you believe about life, death, and the nature of reality was wrong? In 1972, a man named William Buhlman, an ordinary agnostic American, experienced something so extraordinary it shattered the foundation of his beliefs. This is not fantasy, not hallucination. This is his real story. A story that begins with doubt and ends with undeniable truth. My firm convictions about reality and life continued until June of 1972. During a casual conversation with a neighbor, our discussion turned to the possibility of life after death and the existence of heaven. I, of course, presented my agnostic views with confidence. To my surprise, my neighbor didn't argue. Instead, he calmly told me of a strange event. One evening, just after drifting to sleep, he found himself floating above his own body. He was completely conscious, awake, aware, yet separate from his physical form. It wasn't a dream, he insisted. It was real. I was intrigued. Over the next few days, I dove into research. Books, accounts, techniques. I found ancient references to what was called astral projection or out-of-body experience. Still, it all seemed like fantasy to me. Out of curiosity, I decided to try one of the methods described. Every night before sleep, I visualized. I practiced. For 3 weeks, nothing happened, except for an increase in dream recall. I began to feel foolish. I was nearly ready to give up. Then, everything changed. One night, around 11 p.m., I drifted to sleep while trying the technique. I dreamed I was sitting at a round table with several people. They were asking me questions about consciousness and personal growth. Suddenly, I felt dizzy. A numbness swept through me. I passed out in the dream, hitting my head on the table. Instantly, I awoke, fully conscious, lying in bed. But something was different. A buzzing sound filled the room. I reached for the wall in front of me, and my hand went through it. I could feel the molecular energy of the wall as if I were part of it. Then the realization hit me. My God, I'm not in my body. Excited and overwhelmed, I looked around. The room was familiar, but the objects looked like shimmering mirages. I stood up, effortlessly. My body was there, in the bed, still, sleeping. I saw a figure watching me from across the room, a tall man with a beard, wearing a purple robe. Startled, I snapped back into my physical body. The numbness faded, my eyes opened. I sat up, stunned. It was real, not a dream, not a hallucination. My consciousness had been fully present. Everything I had believed was shattered. The physical body was just a shell, a vehicle. There was more, much more. I grabbed a pen and began writing everything down. I was filled with questions. Why had no one told us about this? Why weren't religions or science exploring it? Was this what ancient texts called heaven? Why is humanity blind to this hidden reality? That night changed me forever. My agnostic views collapsed. I had to reevaluate everything: science, psychology, existence itself. But no one around me understood. The term out-of-body experience wasn't even known then. Friends laughed, some thought I was crazy. So I stayed silent.
But I couldn't ignore the truth. I continued experimenting, visualizing, exploring, and documenting every experience. By the end of July 1972, I knew I was on my own. And that's when my real journey began. One night, one experience, a lifetime of transformation. William Buhlman entered the unknown and came back with proof, at least for himself, that we are far more than flesh and bone. He had touched the edge of another world, a world unseen yet very real. And now, the question is yours to ask. What if you could leave your body too? What would you discover? And would you ever be the same again?